Hi guys, welcome to EduTap. Many of you might be thinking that EduTap is not putting much videos on SEBI Grade A. क्या बात है, क्या notification नहीं आएगा? Well guys, in this video we will be discussing कि notification आएगा या नहीं आएगा. We will also be discussing about the notifications in the past year. We will also be discussing about eligibility, pattern cutoffs and syllabus for this exam in case you are preparing for SEBI Grade A. So next 15 minutes can be now very enriching for you as you will be coming to know all about SEBI Grade A. So सबसे पहले बात करते हैं vacancies और notification dates की. So SEBI has been conducting SEBI Grade A exam since many years, but it was on and off. And since 2018, they started conducting this exam when they included technical subjects. Apart from quant, reasoning, and English, they also started to include finance or management, this commerce, accounts, company law. So 2018 में वैकेंसी आई थी with 84 seats सितंबर में. Then in 2020 there was another vacancy with 80 seats in March, and in 2022 there was another vacancy with 80 seats in January, that is last year. So 2021 में वैकेंसी नहीं आई. इसको देख के लगता है कि SEBI is conducting these exam up every 2 years. That is not the reason. That is not the case actually. 2021 में notification would have come, but the 2020 notification, the exam corresponding to that got delayed due to COVID, and it happened in 2021 itself, somewhere I think in Feb or March. So after 2021 the exam was conducted, they conducted it again in 2022. Now what about 2023? क्या notification आएगा नहीं आएगा, क्या कुछ इसके बारे में पता है? Frankly speaking, we don't have much clarity, as in we don't have information from the horse's mouth कि notification आने वाला है, but there are a lot of rumors in the market that notification आने वाला है. There is an insider information coming that notification can come in last week of December or first week of January. But this is not been verified from our end till now. We are working on that. So any case, in case you are planning to prepare after this news, this video can give you all the relevant information. सबसे पहले पैटर्न की बात करते हैं. एग्जाम इज कंडक्टेड इनटू 3 phases, phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. phase 1 and phase 2 is online. ठीक है, कुछ भी पेन एंड पेपर पे नहीं है. If I talk about phase 1 pattern, first of all it is qualifying. The marks that you obtain in phase 1 are not included in the final list. In phase 1 you will have two papers, paper 1 and paper 2, and in this video I would be concerned only with journal stream. I will not be touching any other stream like IT or electrical or civil. So paper 1 will consist of journal awareness, English, quant and reasoning. These are the 4 sections that would be there in the journal awareness. As they are in any other banking exam, the exam would be of 60 minutes and the maximum marks would be 100. Actually there would be 80 questions and not 100 questions. There would be 80 questions, each question worth 1.25 marks. In these 60 minutes worth 100 marks. That is paper 1. Then there is paper 2, which basically consists of 6 subjects. What are those 6 subjects? First one is commerce and accounts. This is one subject. Management is second. Finance is third. Costing is fourth. Companies Act is fifth, and economics is sixth. Paper 2 of journals stream consists of 6 subjects. Here you will be getting 40 minutes to complete the paper, and the maximum marks would be 100. And these 40 minutes you will be getting 50 objective questions. So this is also objective and this is also objective. So ये total 200 marks हैं. There is no overall cutoff in SEBI Grade A phase 1. What all you require to clear phase 1 of SEBI Grade A is that in paper 1 you require minimum 30%. In paper 2 you require minimum 40%, and overall also you require an aggregate of 40%. तो अगर आपके यहाँ पे 30 marks आ गए तो यहाँ पे आपको 50 चाहिए ताकि ओवरऑल 80 बन जाए. सो ओवरऑल यू नीड मिनिमम 80 provided you get 30% in paper 1 and 40% in paper 2. And all those who meet this criteria, all those who get 80 in overall and 30 in paper 1 and minimum 40 in paper 2, they will clear phase 1. So there is no overall cutoff. SEBI will select even 1:20 students. कि अगर एक सीट है तो उसके लिए वो 20 स्टूडेंट भी सेलेक्ट कर लेंगे फेज 2 के लिए. देयर इज नो I would say disadvantage, or there is no criteria that they would select only these number of students for phase 2. All the students who will meet this criteria will be shortlisted for phase 2. This is very clearly written in the examination, and there would be 1/4 negative marking also. Clear है जी? I hope you are clear about the phase 1 pattern. 2 papers हैं, minimum cutoff चाहिए दोनों में, and overall you require 40%. And this is qualifying. Now coming on to the phase 2 pattern, in phase 2 pattern you will have 2 papers. One is paper 1, which basically consists of descriptive English. This is descriptive. This is not objective. So here they would give you 60 minutes. In 60 minutes, they will give you 3 questions. One would be RC, second would be Preci, and third would be comprehension, which you would have to solve in 60 minutes, worth 100 marks. Paper 2 is again of 100 marks. Here the syllabus is entirely same what we discussed in phase 1 paper 2, right? I showed you here this paper 2 for phase 1. So in phase 2 also you will get the same paper again, same time, 40 minutes, 100 marks, same syllabus, same subjects, but the difficulty level would be higher. ठीक है जी? And another important point to know here is that these papers, though they are of equal marks, but their weightage is not the same. Paper 1, that is descriptive English, will have weightage of 1/3, and paper 2, which is a combination of 6 subjects, will have a weightage of 2/3. So this is very important to understand. यहाँ पे paper 2 का weightage ज़्यादा है because this is the core which you require to get selected in SEBI. तो यहाँ पे इन्होंने weightage ज़्यादा रखा है. तो ultimately when they will calculate their overall marks, right, they will scale it out of 1/3 and this is out of 2/3. Minimum cutoffs भी हैं. You require 30% minimum in paper 1 and 40% minimum in paper 2 and overall 50% as an aggregate cutoff. But I think in phase 2 aggregate cutoff of 50% does not matter because anyways to get selected you need to get higher marks, right? तो वो तो अगर आप select हो गए तो उससे higher marks ले ही आओगे. So it's not much of a concern here. Again, in phase 2, there would be 1/4 negative marking in paper 2, which is objective. And in phase 2, they will select a limited number of people for interview. So here, not all people who will meet this criteria would get selected for interview. Only students in ratio 1:3. तो अगर आपकी 80 vacancies हैं, only 240 people would get selected for the interview. ठीक है जी? So I hope now phase 2 pattern is also very much clear to you. We will discuss about the detailed syllabus of these subjects later. The third phase is the interview, which is having a weightage of 15%, right, in the overall selection process. तो होता क्या है basically, in the end they will calculate marks out of 100. For phase 2 they will calculate marks out of 85. Phase 2 वैसे तो आपका 100 plus 100 marks का है, that is 200. But they will calculate these marks out of 85 and rest 15% weightage would be given to the interview, and finally they will give you marks out of 100 and that will decide your cutoff. And interview you can give either in Hindi or English. काफ़ी हिंदी मीडियम वाले लोग हैं जिनको लगता है सर हिंदी मीडियम से पढ़े होने के कारण क्या उनको प्रेफरेंस नहीं दिया जाएगा, रिजेक्ट कर दिया जाएगा, ऐसा नहीं है. यू आर बीइंग गिवन एन ऑप्शन टू गिव योर इंटरव्यू इन हिंदी. That was about the pattern. Pattern clear hai, lekin let's discuss about the eligibility also, because many a times I have seen students get excited and they start preparing but they are not clear about the eligibility. So eligibility kya hai? Eligibility in age is that you should be less than 30 years. Minimum age कुछ नहीं दिया है, but they have given that your age should be less than 30 years. तो अगर आपकी age 30 years हो गई है, you are not eligible. Your age should be like 29 years 364 days. You should not have attained the age of 30 years. और अगर आपकी एज 30 years 3 days है, 30 years 10 days है, तब तो आप अगेन एलिजिबल नहीं है. ठीक है. और फॉर कैलकुलेटिंग द एज दे डिस्क्राइब अ कट ऑफ डेट. Last year when notification came in January, the cut off date was December 31, 2021. कि अगर दिसंबर 21, 2021 को you are 30 years old, then you are not eligible. You are not eligible. ठीक है, so that cutoff date this year will depend upon this year's notification. Usually it is the first date of the month in which the notification comes, or the last date of the previous month. Last year January में notification आया था, December 31st was kept as a cutoff date. Is there any relaxation? Yes, there is relaxation. So 5 years for SC STs and 3 years for OBCs, and for PWBD candidates there is a relaxation of 10 years, and who are PWBD plus OBC they will get 10 plus 3, that is 13, and who are PWBD plus SC ST they will get 10 plus 5, that is 15. Right. So ये relaxation standard है across many examinations, people would be knowing this. Now terms of qualification, what is the eligibility? So यहाँ पे थोड़ा googly है. First is you can have masters in any discipline. Any discipline mean any discipline. Agriculture, health, pharma, architecture, कोई भी discipline हो. If you have masters in that, you are eligible to sit for this exam. But when it comes to bachelor's degree, there are constraints. Only bachelor's degree in law and engineering is allowed. So अगर आपने BCom किया है, now it is very hard to absorb this fact that BComs are not allowed, but MComs who have done MCom in say pharma, they are allowed. Sorry, not MCom. Say masters in pharma, masters in architecture, masters in agriculture, they are allowed to sit for this exam, but not the BComs. Right. So master in any discipline, but bachelor's only in law or engineering. ठीक है. और अगर आप CA, CFA, CS, CWA हैं, then also you are eligible to sit. And also sometimes people who have done MBA, they are given postgraduate diploma, PGDM finance, PGDM management, they are also eligible to sit. ठीक है, तो उनके पास बैचलर्स डिग्री नहीं है इंजीनियरिंग में, बट दे हैव अ postgraduate diploma in management, which is not masters, but still they can apply for this exam, right? So जनरल स्ट्रीम में वो लोग भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. अगर कुछ क्लियर नहीं है, डू लेट अस नो बाय कमेंटिंग बिलो दिस वीडियो. वी विल ट्राई टू रिजॉल्व योर डाउट. नेक्स्ट आते हैं कट ऑफ्स पे. नाउ व्हेनेवर यू स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर एनी एग्जाम, द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट कम्स टू आवर माइंड इज कि भैया कितने नंबर चाहिए ये एग्जाम क्लियर करने के लिए. तो इफ आई टॉक अबाउट कट ऑफ्स इन द फेज 1 गाइज, there is no cutoff, as I told you. I mean, there is no cutoff as a number, overall cutoff, because they have clearly mentioned if you get 30% in paper 1, 40% in paper 2 as a minimum, you should get this, and overall you should get minimum 40%, you clear phase 1. So all those who will meet this criteria will clear phase 1 and they will be able to sit for phase 2. But what are the cutoffs in phase 2? Right? So phase 2 की अलग cutoff मुझे नहीं पता है, but I am telling you here the overall cutoff for selection. I am telling you the overall cutoff for selection. Right. So if I talk about 2020, right? In 2020 the overall cutoff was 66 for selection. So this is not for phase 2. I am telling you this is for overall selection. That is paper 1, paper 2, and interview. And for 2022, this cutoff got decreased to 62.34 from 66 because the exam was somewhat tough in the year 2022. Again, you might be thinking, sir, phase 2 में तो 100 मार्क के 2 पेपर होते थे, 200 marks. तो क्या this cutoff is out of 200 marks? No, as I told you, they will scale your marks. So whatever marks you are getting out of 200, they will apply the formula and they will scale it out of 85. Right, and 15% weightage would be given to the interview, and final marks are calculated out of 100, and this cutoff is out of 100, 66 and 62.34 for journal, and you can see respective numbers for OBC, SCs and STs. The cutoff is not going less, I would say, as it goes in competitive exams like UPSC or IIT, hardly 50%. Here the numbers are quite high. In 2020, 66%. In 2022 it is less, but the exam was also tough compared to 2020, right? So padna to padega, but again it's not impossible that cutoffs are very high, 80, 90. No, if you compete with yourself, complete your syllabus, study in a strategic manner, you can attain this number. It's not that difficult. चलिए, अब आप सोच रहे होंगे सर सारी बातें बता दी हैं, eligibility, pattern, cutoffs, vacancies. But what is the syllabus? What is that one thing I need to read for SEBI Grade A? So first of all, we will discuss syllabus for phase 1 and then for phase 2. If I talk about syllabus for paper 1 phase 1, right, because in phase 1 there are two papers. Paper 1, which is quant, reasoning, English and GA, and paper 2, which consists of 6 subjects. If I talk about paper 1 phase 1, there is no syllabus mentioned in the notification. You try opening the notification and you will see that there is no syllabus mentioned for quant, reasoning and English. तो क्या करें? So these are the topics that we have derived by looking at the previous year papers. You can pause this video, take a screenshot and study only these topics. I'm not going to take their names. They are self-explanatory. And what to study for phase 1 journal awareness, that is the fourth section in the paper 1. So यहाँ पे अगर आप देखेंगे, this is worth 20 marks, right? Uh, or 25 marks, actually 25 marks. So out of that, you will get 2-3 questions on static GA, which is basically derived from current affairs. Static GA is basically derived from current affairs, right? So what do I mean when I say static GA is derived from current affairs? I mean that no, suppose there is a war between Ukraine and Russia, then they might ask you currency of Ukraine, capital of Russia. So here they're asking you static GA questions, but they're derived from current affairs. So 2-3 क्वेश्चन आपके स्टैटिक जीए में से आएंगे, रेस्ट 17 क्वेश्चंस करंट से रिलेटेड आते हैं. उसमें से 4 to 5 questions would come from banking and financial awareness, which is basically related to the news of RBI, SEBI, PFRDA, IRDAI, Finance Ministry. इनसे रिलेटेड कोई भी नोटिफिकेशन, रेगुलेशन, न्यूज़ है, वो आप ज़रूर पढ़ लें, वो एग्जाम में पूछी जाती है. स्कीम्स रिपोर्ट्स नहीं पूछी जाती हैं ज़्यादा. अदर करंट अफेयर्स आते हैं जो कि नॉर्मल बैंकिंग करंट अफेयर्स हैं, लाइक बुक्स, स्पोर्ट्स, important days in theme, science and tech, persons in news, awards, appointments, obituaries, summit, conferences, defense related, famous awards, all these, I mean, which you study for any normal banking exam. Again, you can take a screenshot. So this is the syllabus for GA, right? So all this is not mentioned. Paper 1 in phase 1 has no official syllabus, but I am telling you the syllabus based upon the analysis of previous year papers. Now phase 1 also has a second paper, paper 2. Let's discuss the syllabus of that. So there are 6 subjects. First is commerce and accounts. So here they mentioned this thing in the syllabus, but I must tell you that accounts has some basic concepts. Those chapters are not mentioned in the syllabus, like introduction to accountancy, theory base of accounting, where you study about various principles of accounting. Then recording transactions, which is about journal, ledger, debit, credit, all that is again not mentioned in your syllabus. Trial balance and bills of exchange, and bills of exchange again. So it's a repetition here. So these topics are not mentioned in your syllabus, but a lot of questions have been asked from these topics. So do not try to skip these topics, and anyways you cannot understand accounts if you do not cover these topics. तो ये तो करने ही करने हैं. Do remember that. Apart from that, accounting as a financial information system is basically about how accounting can be done using different softwares such as Tele. Then accounting standards are there, right? Then various financial statements like cash flow statement, fund flow statement, ratio analysis, and financial statement analysis is also in your syllabus. Then accounting for share capital and related issues like bonus shares, right shares, employee stock options, and buyback of securities is another area. Then preparation and presentation of final company accounts, where they basically teach you about Schedule 3, right? This is very, very important that you should study. ठीक है, तो इसमें से क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्या इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, दैट्स अ सेपरेट डिस्कशन दैट आई विल डू इन अनदर वीडियो. बट फॉर नाउ जस्ट रिमेंबर दैट दीज आर द टॉपिक्स which are not to be left. Coming on to the management, if we try to divide the syllabus of management, basically uh, management as in functions of management, leadership, HRD, motivation and communication are the main chapters. And I think management is pretty simple. Though questions are not bookish, they are based upon understanding, but you can cover the entire syllabus of management in very short time. So this is the first subject, in my opinion, that you should be studying when you start preparing for SEBI. And if you have studied for RBI Grade B, it is entirely overlapping except HRD. Else everything is the same. Now coming on to the syllabus of finance, again a lot of overlap between finance syllabus of SEBI and RBI. So in case you have prepared finance for RBI, you are almost prepared for finance of SEBI. So यहाँ पे 3 units में they have divided the syllabus: financial system, financial markets, and journal topics. So you can look through it. First is functions of regulatory bodies, very important. Then primary and secondary markets, forex, money, bond, equity, very important. From here you every year get 2-3 questions in the exam. Then derivatives, that is future forwards and swaps, very important. This is basically current affairs based, recent developments in the financial sector. So you must be reading all the RBI notifications. They become very important here. Financial inclusion using use of technology, not very important. This is also not important. These last two units are important. A lot of questions can come from these two units also. Okay, so this is the overall syllabus for finance for paper 2. Then coming on to the costing. Now in costing also, the same problem is there that I told you earlier in one another subject, that some basic topics are missing here. Like no, how do you do costing for labor, material? That is not in your syllabus, but a lot of questions are asked from it. And if you do not understand that, how do you do accounting for labor or material, you will not be able to understand any of the chapters given in the syllabus. तो सबसे पहले वो 2-3 चैप्टर जरूर कर लीजिएगा, that know how to do costing for labor or material or overheads. उसके बाद इफ आई ट्राई टू डिवाइड योर सिलेबस, फर्स्ट चैप्टर इज वेरी बेसिक, यहाँ से ज़्यादा आता नहीं है. सेकंड इज मेथड्स ऑफ कॉस्टिंग, यू विल गेट सम क्वेश्चंस आउट ऑफ हेयर. एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर हेयर इज प्रोसेस एंड ऑपरेशन कॉस्टिंग, इसको ज़रूर कर लीजिएगा. देन कॉस्टिंग इज मोर अबाउट न्यूमरिकल्स. न्यूमरिकल्स बहुत आते हैं एग्जाम में, एंड फॉर दैट this is the unit, the third unit, that is standard costing, marginal costing, budget and budgetary control, are the three most important chapters from which maximum numericals are asked in the exam. Then there is a fourth unit which is entirely opposite, that is no numerical at all, lean system and innovation. And you can read this unit even if you do not have any idea of costing. You can just start this reading from scratch, the fourth unit, without having any knowledge of costing. So I normally tell people that even if you are planning to leave costing altogether, आपके पास टाइम नहीं है या समझ नहीं आ रहे, at least do the fourth unit from which you will get 2-3 questions. And this is very basic. You can complete this in say 2-3 days. So lean system, JIT, Kaizen costing, 5S, TPM, Six Sigma, all these are very basic, simple concepts. Coming out of the Companies Act, Companies Act is very big, but thankfully they have given some chapters that only are to be covered for SEBI. Chapter 3 is basically about prospect and allotment of shares. Chapter 4 is about share capital and debenture. Chapter 8 is about dividend payment. Chapter 10 is on auditors, uh, um, auditors work. Chapter 11 is appointment of auditors. Chapter 12 is meeting of board of directors. And this last chapter that I've given in the syllabus is related to NCLT. तो यही चैप्टर्स कीजिए. इसके अलावा देयर आर सम अदर चैप्टर्स इन द कंपनीज एक्ट व्हिच आर इंपॉर्टेंट बट नॉट इन योर सिलेबस. सो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट, in case you have time, go through these chapters also. Chapter 9, accounts of company. Chapter 13, remuneration of managerial personnel. And chapter 1 of Companies Act, that is basics of Companies Act, only if you have time. Otherwise concentrate on the chapters which are given in your syllabus. All chapters are important and they mostly ask factual questions from these chapters. Now coming on to the last subject, that is economics. So here again it's a mixture of micro and macroeconomics. Here you will see macroeconomics very easy. If you have studied this for RBI, you would be able to handle it. But if I talk about microeconomics here, specifically this part, Keynesian approach, consumption function, investment function, demand and supply of money, ISLM, all these is microeconomics, which is tough. So when you prepare for this economics, I think first you should study part B and then go for part A. Otherwise it can be really demotivating because part A is tough. Okay guys, so that was about syllabus for phase 1. Now coming on to the syllabus for phase 2, paper 1, descriptive English, you get essay, précis and reading comprehension. That's it. And essay topics can vary from economy, finance to technology to abstract topics to social issues like poverty, illiteracy, women empowerment. तो 4-5 essays आते हैं. You get a option to write one essay out of these essays. They are from different areas, so you can choose as per your convenience. प्रेसी है और रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन है, तो यही स्कोप रहता है. एंड इफ आई टॉक अबाउट सिलेबस फॉर पेपर 2 phase 2, which I told you earlier that here paper 2 is having entirely the same syllabus as paper 2 phase 1. तो पेपर 2 रिपीट होता है phase 1 से phase 2 में. ओनली द डिफिकल्टी लेवल इज हायर इन फेज 2 एज इन फेज 1. तो काफी लोग फेज 1 का पेपर 2 देखकर तैयारी करते हैं. प्लीज डू नॉट डू दैट मिस्टेक. पेपर 2 in phase 2 is much tougher than paper 2 in phase 1. So prepare for the harder level. You will be able to handle the easier level. So with that, I take your leave, guys. Thank you for listening to me. I hope this was helpful, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel in case you want to get regular updates about SEBI Grade A. Thank you. Bye-bye.